Blessings in the love and in the light of our Creator. Tonight, we of Hatonn wish to share with you a small story concerning a child who was able to fly. Perhaps this may seem a rather preposterous beginning, yet we will continue with our story, for there is a purpose in our sharing it with you. A child was born. The child was not abnormal in any fashion. He had eyes, ears, arms, and legs of the correct number. As he grew older, he learned to speak, to walk, to handle the various utensils for eating, for working, for enjoyment. Yet, this child was different in one respect. He was aware of the world around him. His awareness of his surroundings was not the result of a sudden inspiration or insight, but rather was simply a continuous perception that he had brought into the world with him and had managed to resist being indoctrinated into disbelieving. In a sense, this child was more a normal child than those about him, for he was not blinded by the stories and half-truths that distort reality. Naturally, the child's familiarity with the world about him became evident due to his ability to flow in attunement with those energies about him. This was evident to others in that the child was able to create or dissolve material objects at will. Yet this was constantly overlooked as simply a sleight of hand or deception, for other children do not question reality, and elders who regard themselves as much wiser found their own answers to explain this phenomenon rather than to accept it for its actuality. The breaking point arrived, however, when the child began to fly. Again, the other children, being less fully indoctrinated, were capable of accepting this practice. For is it not a natural practice for one who is aware of the illusionary state of his surroundings to be able to manipulate the illusion? The elders, the adults, those who were wise, however, found the prospect much less enchanting, and again created in a distorted fashion their own understanding of this phenomena. The child, being different, must be evil, and therefore must be destroyed. The child was captured. If a simple response of approaching when requested can be interpreted as capturing, and was put upon a trial in which he was expected to answer a number of questions dealing with complex theories developed by the elders to explain the process by which he had attained large quantities of a supposedly evil and forbidden knowledge. The child was confused, for he knew nothing of metaphysics, of religions, of theories, of superstitions. He simply knew the substance of which his world was composed. He was simply aware of the malleability of his surroundings and his ability to mold them, to flow with them, as a feather flows on a liquid stream. Eventually, the trial was over. The child, now regarded as both evil and uncooperative, was condemned to death. For such was the only response conceivable to those wise elders who sought to protect themselves from the knowledge they suspected the child bore. We will not dwell upon details of pain. It will suffice to say the child's physical vehicle was terminated. Yet, The child joyfully continued to fly, for not bearing the heavy burden of wisdom possessed by those elders. The child was not borne down and crushed to the earth by the fears of a physical death, but simply continued to live and to fly. The child was unaware that this death, as they called it, was to be something frightening, to be avoided, to flee from as long and with as much effort as possible. He was but a child, and only knew that his universe was still malleable, was still subject to his own powers of creation, and thus, happily, the child continued to fly. My brothers and sisters, the child in all of us continues to fly. We can load it down with the heavy burdens of this supposed knowledge and wisdom of the worlds we create. We can crush ourselves to the earth with our needs, our possessions, with the heavy burdens which we create for ourselves. Or we can see them in the proper perspective as malleable conditions that we have created for the purpose of our own learning. We can use them towards that and relinquish them when we are finished. My brothers, my sisters, if your burdens are heavy, lay them down and come fly. My friends, we realize that there is always some gap between the concepts or inspirations which we might offer you and practical application of the original thought of the infinite creator in your life. We have not drifted so far from your experience of third density that we have forgotten the gravity that holds you down, both physically and metaphysically. We do not suggest to you that you might lay aside your metaphysical gravity and take your birthright as a co-creator of this infinite universe and fly wherever and whenever you wish. This is to invite even the most devoted student to inquire as to the precise nature of the mechanics of flight. My friends, we do not speak of the mechanical concept of flight. Let us look at the same concept from a slightly different point of view. Say that you are a detective, each of you on the trail of the suspect. This suspect is reputed to be the true self, the most daring, careful, and inventive detective shall never discover his own true self, for the self is revealed to the self unexpectedly, as if by chance you walked into a strange room in a strange house and unexpectedly caught sight of your face in the mirror. How startled the person is to see that reflection when it is not expected. How different the person suddenly looks. Within the bleak outline of difficult days or the rich outline of good ones, something unexpected occurs, and in the life of the self, a discovery is made by you about yourself. These things cannot be predicted, cannot be planned. They are the revelations of the self to the self. They are the marks of an adventurer which each of you has begun in the seeking for the truth. For my friends, the truth lies within yourself, and within that self which is the true self. That true self, we submit to you, my friends, is love, and the nature of that love is such that it opens to you in all unity, all the creation. Here, my friends, is true flight. Here is the capacity and ability to be the essence, to experience all that there is. In meditation, such a search is mounted. The self seeks the self. In meditation, such a thing is considered possible. Your spirit can fly. We have had far less of a heavy chemical illusion to penetrate. We are able to see more of the creation as ourselves, to fly further, to feel love, and in our feeling of unity with you, we reach out our hands to you. We cannot do this for you, but we can tell you that it is possible. We shall be with you, my friends, at any time that you wish to meditate. We are messengers of love, and we send you that love at all times. It is a creation of love. Come fly with us, my friends, in a universe filled with the love and the light of the infinite Creator.